There is nothing quite like a Range Rover. These robust vehicles are purpose-built to tackle some of the toughest terrain in the world, from slogging through waist-deep mud or trekking across the Ethiopian highlands. But these trucks are not just for grueling expeditions. Oh no, they are quite luxurious as well. But to really put one of them through its paces, you have got to evaluate it in the conditions it was designed for. Behold, the splendor of an open-air mall. Range Rover Evoque's natural habitat. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize you were there. I had to do a little bit of shopping over at the Whole Foods. Can you believe Gruyere cheese is up to 26 bucks a pound? Anyway, there is no mistaking the Evoque here for anything but a Range Rover. I mean, the family resemblance is obvious, though unlike the brand's flagship model, this one is tailor-made for people that want rugged looks and prestigious branding, along with greater fuel economy and more manageable dimensions. Now, if you must, the Evoque's standard four-wheel drive and adjustable terrain response systems should allow you to handle some pretty gnarly off-road conditions. It even has dedicated settings for things like sand, snow, and mud, but a suburbia mode might be more appropriate, or one that allows you to park in handicapped spaces even if you're not disabled. Also on the center console is a cool rotary gear selector. It rises up when you start the engine. Some people may find it gimmicky, but I think it's pretty neat. And it also appears to feature a built-in telegraph, though I haven't figured out exactly how it works, but that hasn't stopped me from playing around with it. As for the Evoque's cabin, at first glance, I didn't really care for it, but the materials and overall design quickly grew on me. It's cleanly styled, suitably premium, and solidly built. The rear seat is fairly comfortable as well. It's spacious enough, though an extra inch or so of legroom would be great. In the cargo hold, there's a maximum of 51 cubic feet with the back bench folded. That's about 20 fewer cubes than provided by a Honda CR-V. But we don't have enough time to get into everything about this vehicle's cabin and all of its available technology, so when you're done watching this video, be sure to head on over to AutoGuide.com and check out my full written review. Overall, the Evoque here is very pleasant to drive, with one key caveat, which I will get to in just a minute. Now, this vehicle's steering is surprisingly quick, and I do find the brakes pretty touchy, but these are quirks I think you'll get used to pretty quickly, because I know I did. The big news with this vehicle is the inclusion of a 9-speed automatic transmission, which has replaced a 6-ratio gearbox. In fact, it's the same ZF unit that's found in the Jeep Cherokee, which I drove earlier this year, except I find the Land Rover's tuning is much better. And now for that caveat I mentioned a few moments ago. The acceleration provided by this vehicle's turbocharged 240 horsepower engine is quite strong, but there's a lot of turbo lag. When you punch the accelerator from a standstill in this thing, you've got to wait an uncomfortably long 1, 2, 3 seconds before anything really starts to happen. You need at least 3,000 RPM on the clock before the engine starts pulling with any strength. Once you've got the boost built up, though, the Evoque is pretty quick, but there's a long way to get there. Bolstering its fuel economy figures, the Evoque features auto start-stop. This system kills the engine when you're parked at a red light or sitting in traffic. It's a boon for efficiency, helping this thing achieve a combined score of 24 miles per gallon. Now, in overwhelmingly urban driving, I've been averaging right around 20 mpg. Despite the fact that they got rid of Land Rover a number of years ago, the Evoque is still built on a Ford architecture, and regrettably, its blue oval bones show through like a compound fracture. My biggest beef with this vehicle is the restrictive front footwell. There's no room down here. Some sort of structural beam runs under the seats, and it prevents you from sliding your feet all the way back. The door sills are obtrusive, and then there's the dead pedal, which is lumpy and provides no space for your toes. They actually hit something up underneath the dashboard. From a comfort standpoint, it's horrible, and I hate it. Now, maybe the driving position won't bother you, but it makes me downright angry. It's just unacceptable in a luxury vehicle. The Evoque is a friendlier, more efficient Range Rover. It is perfectly at home in suburbia, if not the jungles of Myanmar. It's got a premium cabin, attractive design, but it's not without its downsides. Frankly, the turbo lag is a little bit surprising, and don't get me started on the foot space again. Base price for a 5-door model is around $42,000, including $895 for delivery, but our tester was dressed with a passel of expensive options that ballooned the sticker to nearly $64 grand. That's a lot of money for a relatively little vehicle. Sure, it's got a panoramic glass roof, navigation system, adaptive cruise control, and much more, but honestly, I still don't find it all that compelling. And frankly, I think you could get a lot more for quite a bit less if you went with a mainstream brand. Now, if you'll excuse me, there's actually a sale going on right now at Yankee Candle. That's it. We're done.